Maaliwalas na araw sa inyong lahat. This is Amy Montaño and I will be your host for this episode entitled Coaching for Breakthrough Performance. At this present time, coaching offers supports to organizations, leaders, and to individuals. It provides much needed time to think, to process our own thoughts and feelings, and make short-term and strategic plans. Our guest for this episode is Ms. Jane Montilla. She is a professional human resource management consultant with over 40 years experience in senior management positions in various industries in the Philippines and in Asia. A graduate of AB Psychology and has graduate units in MA Clinical Counseling in Ateneo de Manila University. She is an accredited Interaction Management Facilitator, Harrison Assessment Interpreter, and a certified mental health first responder. Currently, she is a member of the Board of Directors of Career Development Association of the Philippines. Maaliwalas na araw, Miss Jane!
Maaliwalas na araw, Miss Amy, and to all of our viewers.
Miss Jane, tell us more about coaching.
Oh, thank you for the question, Miss Amy. Coaching is a formal relationship between two individuals, a coach and a coachee. And these two collaborate to assess and understand the coachee's development needs. They also look at and challenge constraints and establish possibilities. They're there to ensure accountability and support each other so that the goals are reached and the development of the coachee is attained. So it's helping someone achieve what he or she wants without doing it for them or telling them what to do. Diba, many times when we're attached to someone and we care for that someone, like our children, for example, and we see them and they are struggling with something, our tendency is to jump in and either do it for them or tell them exactly, step by step, what they should be doing so that they can finish it. Well, that's not coaching. Because coaching, you take a distance to the situation in the sense that you allow the person to discover what he needs, what he has and what he needs to do, what he can do to be able to achieve what he wants to achieve.
What is the similarities and differences between coaching and counseling?
A very, very good question. There are a lot of things that are very similar in counseling and in coaching, and many times they're used interchangeably. But it is understandable that people confuse that because both are there to help people. Both use similar skills like empathy and listening skills and reflecting skills, paraphrasing skills, questioning skills. Also, you need the same environment of trust, the same environment of authenticity, the same environment of confidentiality. So there's many things that are similar. I guess if there was one simple difference is counseling tries to explore and uncover what in the individual's past might have led him to think this way, to act this way, to behave in a certain way, or interpret certain things in a certain way. So there's more going back to the person's past. Coaching doesn't do that. When someone coaches, the coach takes the present reality of the coachee, whatever it is, what he's feeling and what he's going through. And what the coach does is he brings that person's reality into the future, to bring it forward to a vision, a desire, a desired state, a goal. So it's basically looking at what the person is feeling right now and how he can feel better, or how he can look at things in a different way that will make him move forward rather than get stuck where he is.
What are the important highlights of coaching that you would like to share with us, and how we can apply it in our daily life?
Coaching has a very useful model, and if there is one takeaway from this interview, it would be that it's the 4-step GROW model. GROW, actually, GROW, is an acronym, easy to remember and very appropriate to what you're trying to do. You're trying to make the person, I guess, go forward. So G, well, okay, there are steps, and in each step there are skills that are developed, and when those skills are developed, there are certain results that happen. Okay, so let's take the acronym is GROW, and it goes GROW, but sometimes in reality, the sequence doesn't have to follow GROW. You can start with R, actually, and look at O before you go to G, but the elements have to be there. So very important is the goal. The coachee has to know what he wants, where he wants to go, what he wants to be. And if that is the step that he has to accomplish, then he has to develop planning skills. And in this planning skills, he has to be very specific in terms of the steps, in terms of exactly what he should be focusing on to reach his goal. And if he is successful in that, and if the coach is able to deepen their relationship and their rapport with each other, then the coachee develops confidence and trust. Confidence in himself, trust in himself and the coach. Reality check. So if he knows where he's going and he knows where he wants to go or what he wants to be, then he has to look at the present. What is his present reality? So when the coachee goes through a review of his present situation, what he is feeling, what's happening, then the coach needs to listen. Okay? Needs to listen and be quick at affirming what is going right. The coach always looks at things that the coach can turn into something positive for the coachee. Okay. Now, in this step, when reality is looked at and analyzed and things become clearer, then the coachee starts to understand better his situation. After that, then you look at options, and these are the possibilities that you could do or look at. So the coach asks possibilities, and also the coachee can give suggestions. And maybe some suggestions won't work, but maybe some suggestions will. But seeing the wide range of things that could be done or could be looked at, could be considered, could be explored, then the coachee doesn't feel straitjacketed, or he doesn't feel limited too much. So he begins to feel some sense of freedom. And then way forward is setting agreements with the coachee on how to measure success, like looking at milestones, looking at small positive outcomes, and agreeing with the coachee how often or how they will follow up on all of these action steps that the coachee enumerated at the start or wrote down at the start and in the planning stage. So when the coachee now looks at his goals, his plans, the results of his plans, then he starts feeling ownership. He owns whatever success he is seeing or feeling or enjoying. So that's the GROW model. Simple, very simple. Know the goal, check the reality, look at options, and how are you going to measure or monitor things that will happen afterwards, going forward. Okay. I had a classmate in college whose son just graduated from, I think, BS Math. My classmate is pure Chinese, and her son, is the eldest boy. So being the eldest boy in a Chinese clan is very, very significant. They have made their name in the banking industry. So the mother, my friend, my classmate, wanted the son to get into the banking system. But she told me that every time he gets into a banking sort of job. He doesn't stay long. And when he goes for interviews, a lot of times they don't call him back. So said Jane, is there something wrong with my son? Um, can you please talk to him? Can you see? I mean, it's so important for me to be, for me, she says, that my son um, grows his career, a successful career in the banking industry, just like his father and me. So I met with a boy, a very bright boy, a bit timid, um, probably lacks the confidence. And I talked to him. I said, "How are you? And how do you feel?" Um, and then he said, "Well, my mom just told me to meet with you." Um, okay, I said, "Oh, nice of your mom. Um, but how are you doing right now?" I asked him, "Are you working?" "No, I couldn't get a job. I had some interviews here and there." "Oh, so how do you feel about that?" Uh, oh, I'm okay, but I think it's upsetting my mom." I said, "Is there anything that you'd like to do? You yourself. Don't think about your mom." "Well," she says, what I really, really want to do is I want to translate. I want to learn Japanese, and I want to do translations in Japanese from English to Japanese, and I want to work in the Japanese embassy." Does your mom know that? "No, never talked to her about it." Okay. So this went on and on. So he was just talking about what he wanted. Um, and make a long story short, um, I said, "Is it okay if you share these things with your mom? Do you think that's going to be okay with you?" "Yeah, but I don't know if she's going to listen. I think she's set on, making me work in a bank." "Well, why don't you give her a chance?" "Okay," he said, "I'll try." And we had more stuff to talk about. But after that discussion, I called up my friend. I said, "Have you ever asked your son what he wants?" And she says, "Yeah, but..." I said, "Can you just please listen? Just spend time just listening. Because I think when if you want him to be happy and successful, you have to listen to what he wants in his heart." So I left them with that. And I think now the boy is in Japan, uh, taking more Japanese studies. So sometimes you just have to guide the individual or the person, um, and not spell it out for them. Um, you have to ask the piercing questions, though, the redirecting questions, um, for them to be able to think it through, and for them to be able to understand it better for themselves. Because once they understand it better for themselves, then they feel more empowered to do something about it and not just let things happen and sweep them away.
Miss Jane, it's nice to see you today, and thank you for your time and valuable inputs and sharing with us the GROW model.
Oh, I had fun talking to you too, Ami. So thank you for having me. Maaliwalas na araw.
To our dear viewers, the GROW model shared by Miss Jane is easy to recall and can be used for conversations, for meetings, and everyday leadership to unlock the two P's, that is, potential and possibilities. Listening skills and rapport skills are also essential. But more importantly, asking questions that promotes self-awareness and greater responsibility would lead a person to take practical steps or actions in accomplishing goals, as well as overcoming obstacles. Remember the four letters. That's G, R, O, W. G stands for goal, R for reality check, O for options, and W for way forward. But you can also take note that W may mean will to commit and to take action. We hope that you like our episode for today. Maaliwalas na araw sa inyong lahat. Thank you and see you again in our next episode. Goodbye.